right, so in 433, we have the modern quadratic formula, which looks a little beefier than the Babylonian one, but this allows for an a value to be other than a 1. All right, so it's a very common formula, but really it's just a matter of taking whatever the coefficients are, the a, b, and the c values, and plugging it into the formula. All right, one thing to consider or try to remember is that, and you know what, I'll even do it here, the sign goes along with it. All right, so this is assumed to be a positive 3. All right, there's no negative sign in front of it, so it's a positive 3 that gets plugged into the formula. All right, so my a value is 3, my b value is 2, and my c value is -5. So I would plug into my formula x equals negative, the 2 is going to go in there, but what I'll do is I'll put parentheses everywhere. I'm going to make a substitution. Makes it a little bit more, I'll say calculator friendly. All right, because calculators understand parentheses very well, an order of operations. So negative b, I'll put in my b value, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c over 2a. All right. So the way we can handle this, and if you want to do it right on a calculator, that's fine. I would pretty much type in exactly what I see here. All right. So I want a fraction. So I'll do a little fraction here. I'll wipe out the ANS, the answer part of it. Negative parentheses 2. I can't do plus or minus, so I'll just start with the minus. The square root of 2 squared minus 4 times 3 times -5 over 2 times 3. All right, so that would be one solution. And the same expression, just with a plus sign, would be my second solution. So my values of x would be x equals -5 over 3 or x equals 1. All right, modern quadratic formula allows for negatives. All right, so we don't have to worry about ditching a negative value just because. Right, so that was this example here, so I'll just move that down. All right, and so you can see the complete solution. So it's the same idea for the remaining examples. It's really just a matter of plugging and chugging away. All right, let me do one that involves a radical. So I'll do example 2. So we have 3x squared minus 8x minus 4. Oops. Equals 0. So my a value is 3. My b value is -8. And my c value is -4. All right, so x is going to be equal to, again, I'll just do the little framework here. All right, maybe I'll copy that, save it for later. So I'm going to plug in my values. -8. I'll plug in the a and the c. All right, so I'll just work off what I did before and change my values. Coincidental. All right, it looks like everything I wrote down is in the calculator. So I'm going to hit enter. Now, the good thing about this particular calculator is that it'll simplify radicals for you. So it looks pretty gnarly here, but it's really the decimal that we're after anyway. So the x value here, so aside from the radical form, which you may want, I'm just going to grab that decimal form, negative 0.431 or 3.0972. All right, so uglier answers, depending on how, it didn't say how to round. So depending on what the rounding instructions are, you might write it slightly differently, but that's, it's ugly to look at, but it's no more challenging than the previous problem. It's just we didn't get clean answers, right? And we had to do a little bit of rounding there. All right, so same idea with the next example. All right, then we have quadratic word problems. All right, so that's coming up next, and that involves really the skills that we were talking about, but we're gonna have to set up the equation that we'll be looking to solve initially. So more on that in the next video.